Welcome back. Today's class is going to be perfect, like the most perfect moment for you to put in headphones as well. Maybe put some music in the background, maybe, change the lighting up a little bit. Because the whole point of today's class is to be relaxed. These yoga postures that we're going to be doing today are more about relaxing. We're going to stay on the floor most of the time. So it's really just meant to chill and to let the body relax and do its work. Let gravity do its work. We're going to start today just sitting to the side. We're going to go straight into it. We're going to start with some windshield wipers. So placing our hands behind our backs on the floor. Just going to allow the knees to move side to side, just like this. So allowing the hips to open and close. And eventually bringing them back to center. Go ahead and extend your legs. We're going to fold forward. So if you have extra booty, some extra cake, just pull it back so that your tailbone can touch the floor. You can bend your knees as much as you need here. You can also place some pillows, some blocks between your legs. Stack however many you need to make it comfy. And then go ahead and fold forward. It's okay if your knees bend here. So maybe even using your arms as pillows. That can work perfectly fine too. And sometimes this can be difficult. Like if you're very knotted up in your spine, like your muscles are just very tight in the back, this can be really intense. So just place as many pillows as you need. Don't be shy with it. So taking the time to just fold forward. And we'll be taking some nice, long, deep breaths here. This is called an unbinded wide leg forward fold. Bring your attention to your breath and notice if the air is flowing all the way down to the pit of your stomach. If not, go ahead and deepen the breath. And you'll notice the more you focus on the breath, the more your spine and your lower back will begin to just fold forward. It will release on its own. It's okay if your back is very rounded. We're just starting here. Allow the legs to lay limp on the floor, not focusing on overextending. And if you'd like, you're going to inhale, extend the spine nice and tall. And then exhale, we're going to fold a little deeper. Maybe lower the head down in a different way. And same thing, always keeping your attention either to the breath or really using our mind to bring our intention to our muscles, our sensations in the body. But as always, if thinking about the sensation is overwhelming or you just feel it too much, you can always move out of the posture and then come right back in. Last 2 breaths here. And inhale, roll up. If you have your blocks, go ahead and move them out to the side. And we'll keep our knees bent as much as we can and fold forward once again. If you're pretty flexible here, you're always welcome to interlace your fingers together, just like this. Place them on the back of the head, where the neck connects with the head, and then slowly lower down, only allowing the weight of the arms to do the work. Don't actually pull. So it's just a light sensation. So this is what I meant by letting gravity do the work. Continue your breathing, sending that air all the way down to the pubic bone and all the way back up. And wherever you're at in the practice, go ahead and release the hands, lower them down towards the floor. And inhale. Let's roll back up. Spine straight. Take a moment to place your hands behind your back, kind of like we did at the beginning. Bend your knees and windshield wipe your legs side to side. And we're going to use our blocks or our pillows once again. So go ahead and place them behind your back. If you don't have blocks, you don't have to use them either. You can just lay down all the way onto your back. But to start, to get into this position, we're going to be in supine Baddha Konasana, or supine butterfly pose, which means we're placing the soles of our feet together, just like this, keeping the spine straight. And then eventually we're going to lay down onto our back, onto the pillow. So go ahead, inhale, deep breath in. And on the exhale, place your hands on the floor behind you. Slowly lower down onto your back or onto the pillow. And extend your arms out to the sides. Or option to place one hand over your heart and one over your belly. Whatever your choice, take it, own it. You're always also welcome to place blocks or pillows under the knees as well. If you feel like your hips are opening too much, maybe your body's not warmed up for that, you can always use that on the side. And once again, our favorite thing in yoga, returning back to the breath. Maybe feeling the rib cage expand and contrast. And that's what this class is all about today. We're just relaxing, noticing the simplest things in the world, allowing ourselves to be still. If you notice yourself a little tense in this position, go ahead and do a little body scan. For example, scanning from the top of the head down to the toes, maybe unwrinkling the forehead, relaxing the eyes, unclenching the jaw, and so on, all the way down the body, focusing on different body parts to relax consciously, one at a time. Maybe finding so much stillness that we can feel our heartbeat under our ribs. If you notice your thoughts going elsewhere, just kindly bring them back to this moment. A lot of times we feel responsible to be available to our thoughts at all times, but in reality, we have to be careful with where our mind wanders. We need to be in control of how much attention we bring to each event in our life. How present can you be with just this posture? Can you feel the air in the room where you're practicing? The temperature of the room and how your skin reacts to it? Noticing if you're breathing in through the nose or through the mouth. Maybe feeling the weight of our eyelashes over our eyes. Come back to this practice. If you're laying on a pillow or on blocks, we're going to slowly just place our hands on the floor by our hips, push into the elbows to rise up slowly, and just to scoot the support out of the way and lower fully onto the ground, onto our backs. Everyone, go ahead and place your knees together. We're going to create a number 4. So placing the right leg over the left, creating this number 4. Option to stay there, or option to go a little further, grabbing the back of the left leg and then pulling this bind towards the chest. If you'd like a deeper expression, you can always grab the knee in front and then pull towards you. If you're even more advanced than that, you can always wrap your arms around, clasp the hands together, push the sole of the foot into your left elbow, and then pull towards you. but try to keep the shoulders on the floor. So if you can't keep the shoulders on the floor, just stay to the variation right before. Wherever you're at, keep breathing, keep pulling in. Deep breaths. This is called our supported pigeon or supine pigeon. Two more deep breaths in this posture, keeping this one a little shorter as it can be a bit more intense. And slowly release. Go ahead and change sides. Left leg over the right. Option to stay right here with the arms by your sides, or clasping your fingers behind your leg, pulling in. You can stay here, or go ahead for that knee in front and pull in there, or both hands, both arms all the way around, just like that. Wherever you're at, keep pulling in. You should always be finding your edge, and what I mean by that is these postures shouldn't be easy. As in, if you're too comfortable, go ahead and challenge yourself a bit more. You'll want to feel your muscles stretching or engaging. Even if it's really slow and calm, we still want to feel that edge, some sort of intensity. This posture is also really great for those who sit at desks. You can even do this posture while you're sitting on your chair, while you're working, while you're creating. Two more deep breaths. In through the nose, out the nose. Go ahead and release the bind. Bring your knees together. Pull your knees in towards your nose. And we're going to go for a quick happy baby, grabbing our feet on the outside edges of our feet, and then kicking our heels up. While we push, we pull the knees in towards the armpits. You can go ahead and just roll here, side to side, make it playful. Give your lower back a massage, maybe extending one leg out to the side, maybe the other, maybe both at the same time. Just allowing this posture to be playful. This is one of my favorite postures for stretching out the backs of my legs specifically. I always hear my legs crack when I'm in this position. So there's that for you. And lastly, we'll slowly bring our legs together once again. From here, hop your hips over to the right so that we can drop our knees to the left. Extend the arms to each side and gaze towards the right side, so the opposite direction of the knees. Option to stay here or wrap the right leg completely around the left, which allows you to have a deeper twist. kind of like a corkscrew twist of the belly. Another option is also creating cactus arms. So bending your elbows at a 90-degree angle here. Let me just move my legs so you guys can see the form fully. So 90-degree angle with the arms, and what it does is it opens the shoulders even more. It creates this different type of push against gravity. It's very simple yet very effective, but be careful because it can be intense for those who have really tight shoulders. Even me, I've been doing yoga all day and I feel it in my shoulder right now. So take your time. Wherever you're at in this practice, keep breathing in and out through your nose, allowing your air to pass all the way down to the belly. Notice the belly rise. And on the exhale, really allowing everything to come out. You're bringing all the bad stuff out of your body here. The more you breathe, the more you're releasing, the more you're detoxifying your body. Relax your forehead and your jaw. Your last deep breath in through the nose here. Out the nose. Slowly open your eyes if you have them closed. And we're going to keep our knees over to the left side. Just bring them back together so the knees are touching. And what we're going to do is extend the left leg down towards the front of the mat. So we're getting this like number 7 with our legs. From there, option to stay exactly as is. You can place your left hand on your right knee here to kind of push the knee further down towards the floor. You can stay there or grab the right hand with the left foot. So you're creating this pull on the hamstring, on the thigh. The more you kick your foot into the hand, the more you're going to create this bow shape with the leg and arm. Keep gazing to the opposite direction. So if your right knee is to the left side, you're gazing to the right. Remember, if you're feeling uncomfortable or in pain, you can always get out of the posture and come right back in when you're ready. And go ahead, extend the leg back down, release the bind, bring your knee back to center. We're going to collect both knees together towards the chest. Tuck in, nose towards your knees. Take your time. And same thing with the other side. We're going to hop the hips over to the left so that our knees can fall to the right. Extending our arms to each side. Let me just adjust the shirt. There we go. Gaze to the left. Option to stay exactly here, or once again, wrapping the top leg over the bottom so we can have a deeper twist. You're also welcome to place a pillow under those knees if you feel like the twist is too deep. You can create kind of this support. And when you're ready, you can close down the eyes once again. for every inhale, allow your lungs to expand, take up space, really feed your body with that oxygen. And on the exhale, allow your knees to fall closer towards the floor, twist your torso, allow your body to melt down into the floor. And lastly, once again, option to cactus the elbows, cactus your arms, which creates a deeper opening for the left shoulder and breastplate. Relax your jaw and your forehead. Separate your teeth. Really take your time here. Last 2 breaths. Exhale at the same time. And go ahead, same thing with the other side. We're going to extend the right leg or the bottom leg towards the front of the mat. Option to use your right hand to place some weight on the left knee towards the floor. And then option to stay exactly as we are, or reach opposite hand, opposite foot, creating that half bow shape, and then kicking the foot into the hand. Keep gazing to the left side, creating this intense, deep twist. It's lovely. You should be feeling it in your thigh, in the left shoulder, in the torso. Last 2 breaths. Keep kicking into your foot, getting into our edge here. And exhale, release the bind, extend the leg in front, bring your left knee in towards the center. Oof, my back is all sore. Bring your knees both in together, wrap your arms around, pull yourself in. And just like before, we're going to go into happy baby, grabbing the outside edges of our feet and gently rocking side to side to give some love to our lower back. I don't know about you guys, but my back has been super tight, super sore. So this is a great class to kind of target that, release some tension, get into the grooves that maybe we don't normally think about. And then we're going to place our knees together and we're going to use momentum to roll onto our spine. So we're not sitting up yet, but just using this momentum to roll on our spine. Try going all the way up to the top of the spine, to the bottom, getting it all. Maybe noticing any soreness or tightness, maybe even softness. And come up to seated position. We're going to come up to our hands and our knees, the tabletop. And I want you to bring your knees together. We're going to lower down onto our heels and all the way down onto our foreheads into child's pose. Position de l'enfant in French. I'd like to offer a variation for those who have really tight backs. If you have a very tight spine, especially men, I find have very tight spines when it comes to child's pose. You can always place a pillow underneath like this. Maybe stack a few if that's what you need. And then folding forward. And that can help. And then as you practice more and more, you can start taking them out, placing them to the side until eventually your body relaxes fully so that your forehead touches the mat. Take your time in child's pose. Walk your hands a little further up the mat. And I welcome you to take actually bigger breaths than we did before. So when you inhale, you should feel your lungs, your chest pushing against your knees or your thighs. And when you exhale, letting all the air seep out through the nose. Maybe you notice that the spine gets a little longer when you do that. If so, you can always move the forehead a little higher up the mat and then go again, another breath. We're going to go for 2 more before we move forward. Last breath. Inhale. Walk your hands towards your knees. We're going to separate the knees completely to the side, going for a hip opener. And then go ahead, walk your hands forward once again, dropping the chest, dropping the forehead. Child's pose with the knees separated. Once again, return to the breath. Inhale, gaze forward. Exhale, we're going to walk one hand over the other to the left side. Walk your hands as far to the side as possible. And then drop the head down towards the mat. 3 deep breaths here. Feel the right side of the rib cage open up. Inhale, lift up. Walk your hands one over the other to the opposite side. Walking my hands to the right side as far as I possibly can. And then lowering down my forehead. 3 deep breaths. Once again, feeling the left rib cage open up. Feeling this side of the body open up as much as it can. Not feeling bad about taking up space in the room. And exhale. Inhale back to center. We're going to go for thread the needle. So inhale, right arm up towards the sky. Exhale, thread it under your left arm, lower down onto the right ear. Option to stay here or reach the left arm overhead. Or option to wrap that left arm behind your back between the crease of your right hip. When you're ready, you can close down the eyes if that's comfortable. If not, always option to keep them open. Honestly, this whole practice is very personal, so whatever your body is asking you to do, whatever it feels more comfortable to do, always listen to that before listening to me, truly. Even if we're experts in the field, you know your body more than I do. Inhale, arms overhead. Push into left hand, reach the right arm up. And exhale, drop the hand. Inhale, other side. Left arm goes up, inhale. Exhale, thread the needle to the right side. Lower onto the left ear. Option to reach overhead with the right hand or wrap it behind your back between the crease of your thigh. And allowing the hips to sink down into the floor. Unclench the jaw, relax the toes, relax your hips, the lower spine, the neck. And inhale, reach that arm overhead once again, pushing into the palm of the right hand, reaching the left arm all the way up. Inhale. And exhale, drop the hand down. We're going to go for a frog pose, and this can be very intense for the hips. So you can watch me do it first, and then go ahead and try it on your own. But just to keep you guys healthy, go ahead and watch me if you need to start. Frog pose is opening the hips to the side, so maybe even scooching the heels out to the side even more, and then lowering down into this like middle split. But the knees are bent in 90-degree angle. However, you can always lower down if you're comfortable here, staying here, or lowering down onto your chest. And always there's an option to keep your knees on pillows. So especially if you're, like, say you're practicing on your bed, that is really great, especially for this posture, because if you have bony knees like me, it can be painful to place your knees on wood, on the wooden floor. So you can always have this option like me of placing something under the knees. You can always stay at a very simple posture. You don't have to force it. It's much better that you do not force it. You stay where your body asks you to stop, because this is a different level of opening your hips for real. If you're very advanced, maybe your hips all like lay all the way down on the floor. For those who have very open hips, so I'm thinking about when I was very young, and there was this girl in my dance class that had like the most flexible body I had ever seen at the time, and she could do this frog pose so easily. No problem. She even could place like blocks like me under her pillow or under her knees, and her hips would still lower down all the way onto the floor. So our bodies can vary so differently. So even if you're practicing like me for years and years and years, sometimes it's just your body, like that is the challenge of life. Like learning how to relax your hip muscles to that point. It's a whole journey. But keep breathing wherever you're at. Maybe keeping the spine straight. tucking the chin in towards your chest. If you need to get out of the posture, go ahead and then come right back in. So also, good pointer is that your hips should be in the same line as your knees. So what I mean by that is your hips shouldn't be far back like this or too far forward like this. You should really be in line with the knees. All right, I'll get you guys out of it. Inhale, push yourself up. Break your toes in towards the center. Push your support out to the side if you had any, and come back towards child's pose. Knees together, walk your hands forward, drop the forehead. Inhale, walk your hands towards your knees. We're going to go for hero's pose. So those who may have issues with their knees, I will give you a different variation afterwards. So please don't get into this one. I'll give you something else. But for those who are more comfortable with doing postures that involve a lot of knee strength or knee flexibility, we're going to go towards the middle of our mat. Push your heels out to the sides so that you're able to sit all the way down onto your hips. So this can already be a lot for some people. Your knees should be touching. Never separate your knees here, okay? Throughout the whole posture, keep your knees touching. From here, this is the first option of placing the thumbs into the soles of your feet, rolling your shoulders back and down away from the ears, gazing forward, maybe even tucking the chin slightly in towards the chest, and just staying here. This can be a lot for some, so that is the first option. You're welcome to stay here. For those who want a deeper expression, go ahead and walk your hands behind your back onto the floor. We can start by just puffing the chest up, dropping the head back. That's another option. Or if you are comfortable with going a little further, lowering down onto your elbows, keep the knees touching, do not separate. You can stay here onto the elbows, dropping the head back. Or lowering fully onto the floor, onto your back, keep those knees together. So my thighs are tight, which is why my chest is ballooning right now, because it's a little tough for me in this position right now. But the point of this full variation would be just like this, maybe lowering the back onto the floor even more. Option to have one hand over the heart and the belly. But other than that, you can stay here or try those other variations. So whatever you choose, go ahead, get into it, and take your deep breaths. For those who have very intense knee issues or just some limitations with the knees, if you're able to just stay on your knees like this, that is a great option. Or placing your toes underneath and stretching out the soles of your feet by staying here. You can always place a pillow under your knees. Do this in bed as well. That works perfectly fine. But that way it's not as intense as hero's pose, which is what we gave at the beginning. You should not be feeling any pain in the position. If anything, you should just be feeling discomfort. Discomfort is a good thing in the sense of your body just wants to protect you and it says, hey, this is uncomfortable, I'm not sure about this position, or I'm feeling stretched or whatever. But just notice those sensations. Make sure you notice the difference between pain and discomfort. Pain is what you do not want to have, and you will definitely need to get out of the posture if you feel that. All right, last time, deep breath in and exhale. Go ahead, push yourself back up onto your knees. Take your time. Come up onto your hands and tap your toes on the floor. Everyone, even if you're doing the variation for those who have knee limitations, just tap the tops of your toes. Scoot your feet out to the sides and in front. We're going to go for our last posture other than Shavasana. So this last posture, we're going to lower down fully onto our backs. That's one of the beauties of this posture. We're going to go for candlestick. So extending the feet all the way up towards the ceiling. Option to have your palms facing down, so you're pushing into the floor, really opening up your chest here, flexing your feet, extending your legs, engaging every muscle in your body, including your abs, including your arms, even the little toes in your feet. That is where we're going to stay. I do want to offer, though, that you can do this by the wall. So placing your feet up onto the wall and having that be kind of a support for your legs. What we're doing is draining our blood towards our head. And then another variation is placing a pillow or a block under the lower spine, as I'm doing, and then kicking the feet up. So I'm going to use this variation because it helps me with my back, but you can choose any of those variations, or even just follow whatever your body is doing. Make space for your neck, so maybe move your head higher up, tuck your chin in towards your chest. You'll feel a different sensation when just doing that tiny tweak in the body. Keep breathing. It's okay if your legs shake a little bit. I know we're towards the end of the practice. It's a Friday. We just want to chill, but I promise you this will be helpful. You're going to sleep so well after this. And last deep breath in through the nose. And out the nose. If you have something under your back, go ahead, drop the feet, push it out from underneath. Lower down onto your back. And go ahead, extend your heels to the corners of the mat. Lower down onto your back fully into Shavasana, corpse pose. Just move more to the center. So take the time to adjust Shavasana as much as you need. What I mean by that is shimmying your shoulders underneath, giving space to your neck so that you're not shrugging your shoulders up towards your ears. Really allowing your heels to kick forward as much as possible. Palms facing up, tucking your chin in towards your chest. And when you're comfortable, if you're comfortable, go ahead and close down the eyes. Finding so much comfort, so much zen in this position that maybe you can even feel the weight of your brain in your head. Allowing for the body to melt down onto your mat, onto the floor, through the floor into the cracks. Take rest. With your eyes still closed. If not, we're slowly going to wiggle the fingers and the toes, start to get out of it. Maybe circle the wrists and the ankles. Go ahead and reach the arms overhead. Extend your body, extend the arms, point your toes. Bring your knees in towards the chest. Rock over to one side of your choice and slowly push yourself up to seated. Cross your legs, get comfy. Keep your spine nice and tall to honor your practice today. And I want to say a thank you for joining me, even if it was during the class or even if you joined the full thing. Thank you for showing up. Thank yourself for showing up. Namaste.